Go for it.
Hi, American Iron family. My name is Kyle Hemsley. I'm a chiropractor here at American Iron, and this is Shelace, which I'm sure many of you know. We wanted to just do a video to give you something to work on during the week since the gym is closed and you can't come in and you probably have plenty of time. I know many of you are following the online Train Heroic program, so this will just be a little something extra to add in daily. I did want to mention that I am still open during this time, despite the gym closure. So if any of you want to come in and see me, I'm happy to help in any way that I can. You can find me on Instagram at MovementRx, MVMTRX, or online, movementrx.com, or you can email me, info@movementrx.com. So what we're going to go over today may seem kind of remedial to a lot of you, but I can promise you that if you drill it in for a period of time and do it consistently and then touch back on it periodically after you master it, you will see a dramatic increase in force development through any type of athletic movement, whether that's skiing, Olympic weightlifting, sprinting, powerlifting. And another benefit that I've seen with a lot of people that I've worked with is an increase in hip mobility. When we do this properly and we drill it in, we get more centration of the joints in the hip. So as you descend into your squat or sumo position, what you'll notice over a period of time is you'll be able to go deeper with a lot more ease, and we won't even have to do any uncomfortable hip mobility drills or painful tissue work, which is helpful, but if we can influence those structures without even touching them, then I think that's also very powerful. So the first thing we'll do today is we'll have her go seated, and this first part is kind of just a concept that I want to talk about. So I'm going to come around her like this on her sides. And what I'm going to ask her to do is, without inhaling or exhaling, I want her to try to give me even pressure outward into my fingers in a full 360. So I'm going to give her a little pressure in and then push me out. Good. And relax. Push me out. And what we're seeing with Shelace is she does a really good job of pressing out laterally, but she has a more difficult time pressing forward and backwards. And this is something we talked about the other day because she does a lot of competition on stage. They're asked to, as they inhale, breathe through the chest and get really narrow through the stomach. And this is really important for what she does, obviously. But for athletic performance, deadlifting, powerlifting, all the things that we talked about, it's not the best. So we want to teach her how to have good control of this to give her more support when she's lifting. And then I also think that this will give her more control when she's on stage trying to get more narrow. So we'll have her press out laterally, forward and backward. And now what we're going to have her do is, holding that pressure, take a breath in. And you'll notice how her shoulders rise a lot. What we're really trying to do is, you can exhale. What we're really trying to do is, as you inhale, the stomach expands, but we're trying to breathe as low as possible so the diaphragm descends and pressurizes the cylinder. I want you to think as this whole abdominal region as a cylinder. The rib cage is stacked on top of the pelvis, and the diaphragm descending downward is what pressurizes that cylinder and gives you a lot of intra-abdominal pressure and gives you strength and support. So we're going to ask her to do it again. We're going to have her press me out, hold that pressure, and now try and breathe in and out, holding that pressure. And she did a better job this time. And what you'll notice if you're doing this on your own, inhaling, you'll be able to keep the pressure much easier. And as you exhale, it'll be much more difficult. So one cue I like to give people here is pretend like you're sipping through a straw. So you have a straw in your mouth. You're going to hold that pressure outward, and now I want you to inhale through the straw. Exhale forcefully through the straw. Inhale through the straw. Exhale forcefully through the straw. And now she's able actually to hold a lot more pressure outward as she inhales and exhales. So you can do that as a drill on your own, just putting your hands here, pressing out into your hands. Inhale and exhale through a straw. Try and breathe as normally as possible while maintaining that pressure. What we'll do next is we'll have her on her back with her legs up on the bench. Perfect. Okay, so just a couple key points here. She has great posture. Some of you may find that you're more like that. Try and get a double chin for me. So pack your chin, get long through the crown of your head. If you need to put a little pillow here, you can. Hips, knees will be just past the hips, so about right there. Legs slightly externally rotated outward, and then the toes back towards the nose, so you'll actively pull back, and feet about 6 inches apart. So you're going to hang out here. This will be your starting position. Now we're going to have the hands by your sides to start, and what I'm going to have her do here is we already went over the straw, so I'm going to have her pretend like she's breathing through a straw, forcefully exhale all the way, and draw the rib cage downward. Good. Once she has the rib cage downward, I'm going to ask her to continue that breathing that we had before. So rib cage is down. She's going to sip through the straw, inhale and exhale. All the while, she's maintaining pressure out into my fingers here. And it looks easy, but it's actually pretty difficult. pretty tough.
It is.
And you may get lightheaded or so after 5 breaths. That's fine. Take a break. Relax. Let it go. To get back into it, you're going to exhale forcefully through a straw, draw the rib cage down, and then take sips of air in and out of the straw, maintaining this pressure, trying to breathe in a full 360 for me. Okay, once you have that, if you like, you can also put your fingers here to check yourself, right on your sides here. So push in, and I want you to press out as if I'm going to punch you. Yep. And that just gives you some tactile feedback here so you can know that you're maintaining that pressure while you're breathing. You can relax the arms there. Okay, so same thing here. Inhale, exhale forcefully through the straw. Ribs down, good. And now all we're going to do here is, this is the first form of the progression, is you're just going to lift one leg off and hold. That's all it is. I would say if you had a little higher bench, it'd probably be better to have both legs resting right here and then bring one off. But this is fine for video purposes. So the first progression is get your breathing intact, forceful exhale, ribcage down, breathe and brace, and raise one leg, and try and maintain that same pattern. And she's already doing much better than when we went over it a couple days ago. And then you go leg down, and other one up. So all we're doing here is we're trying to lock in the rib cage, maintain belly pressure while you're moving the hips independently of the spine, and you can relax. The more we can get proximal stability in the core, you'll be able to be more athletic in the extremities. Okay, so she has that down pretty well here. I'm going to take the bench out now. She's going to get all these principles in play. Legs up here about, toes back towards your nose, looking at the toes. Knees slightly, externally rotated. And now we're going to go into a frozen bear progression, what I call it. We're going to go arms up right here for me. Perfect. So go forceful exhale, rib cage down. Good. And now I'm just going to ask her to lightly float her head. And she's going to hold right here. Doing okay? What a lot of you notice is the neck will get really tired here. I'm okay with that. Don't think you're straining your neck. You're actually strengthening it, and it's important. So I'm going to give her a second to let her neck relax before we go to the next one. And back up for me. So forceful exhale, rib cage down, float the head a little for me. And now what we're going to cue is, I don't want her to let me move any limb, okay? So don't let me move you. So really stiff, there you go. Really stiff. Good, and you're not going to have me or, if you're doing this on your own, anyone to press on you. This is just concept for you guys. But if you have a partner, they can do this. Try and perturb you and move you. You can try and open up this way, and don't let me open you up. We can try and go diagonally. Don't let me move you. Don't let me move you. And we can try and rotate her. Don't let me rotate you. Don't let me rotate you. Good. Take a break. So this is just concept here. We're locking in this whole cylinder, and she's not letting me move her. And we'll go back up. Okay. Breathe. Pressure out into my hands. And now this is going to be the first progression for you guys. I'm going to slowly pull her. I want to tell her, though, this is the frozen bear. So you're completely frozen. If I pull your arm and your whole body doesn't move with you, then I'm going to rip your arm off, okay? So we move as one unit, and I'm going to ask her to hold right here. So elbows are connected to the knees, wrists to the ankles. She's moving as one unit. She's keeping the rib cage down, and she's still breathing through a straw, taking sips, pressurizing the cylinder. You'll notice she's shaking. That means she's doing a great job, and a lot's going on. And I'm going to let her go back, and then we're going to go to the other side. And up, and hold. Good. And then I can mess with her here too. Don't let me move you. Don't let me move you. And she's about to work out. This is a great warm-up for her. And back. I'll let you come back. Okay, so that's the first progression of the frozen bear. There's two other ones that I'll give you guys for options. You can keep the camera down there. The next one, if you have access to this, is just grabbing a Swiss ball and open up for me. Perfect. So the ball will go kind of on the inside and the top of your legs here, so you have something to press against. And then the hands are just going to be kind of draped around it, pressing into the ball this way. So you're going to try and compress this way into the ball, and then you're going to roll, and you're going to hold that same position. So back up, and you can let the ball come down a bit. Down, down, down. Yep, there you go. And let's go here. So she's going to compress this way, get a ton of activation of all the muscles here, and then just roll to either side for me. And hold. And she's shaking. And you just do whatever you're comfortable with here. We don't have to go to max effort. And go other side for him. What I'd ask you guys to do here is just go on an RPE scale. Go to about 8 or 9. Roll controlled back to your back. And then go other side. Okay? So that's option number 2 for the frozen bear. Option number 3, do you remember the elbow down? No. One kind of? Okay. So option number 3, I'll go through it, is same position here. And then you're going to roll like the frozen bear. Yeah, you got it. And then drop the elbow Everything's staying connected here as one unit, and you're going to lower your body as low as you can to the ground, staying connected, driving that elbow hard through the floor. Pretend like you have walnuts in your fist, crush them as hard as you can, and hold this position. And drive through the elbow and come back. And let's go other side. Good. You're doing great today. All the while, what's that?
A little different after or
Yeah.
before workout.
All the while, rib cage is staying down. She's sipping through the straw. You can let the straw go if you like. That just helps you create more pressure in here. And then she's going to come back and relax. Good. So that was the bear progression. I like to do rotation first, anti-rotation, and then I'll do the classic dead bug, which most of you have probably done. Now the dead bug, if it's not done with intention, is actually really easy. It doesn't feel like you're doing anything. But if you really are intentional with it and you do it right, this exercise will completely fry your abs in a matter of 30 seconds. So, is that a good angle right there? Okay. So let's go back up in that position. So this is the dead bug position. Now one thing I will mention is I want you to get the rib cage down first before you lift the head. So go down for me and do a little half crunch for me. What will happen is if you just half crunch, yes, you'll get the ribs down easy, but you'll use all rectus abdominis, which is the six-pack muscles. And what we're really trying to do is get the obliques to control the ribs. So go back down, forcefully exhale the ribs down now, and now just float the head a bit for me. Okay, so there's a little difference there. So first progression of the dead bug, and we're almost done, so you don't have to do this too much longer, is just one leg at a time. Keep this completely locked in, and you're just going to lower one heel to the floor. And back up. Now, she's obviously a very strong athlete. If this is too challenging for you, you can go more bend in the leg. Bend that, there you go. And you can just keep the knee at this angle and lower the heel closer to the body. So that'll be a much shorter lever and it'll be easier for you to control. Excuse me. And then you can progress to lowering the heel further away. Okay, so that's the first option, just one leg at a time, take a break. And then the next one we'll do is the classic option, which is opposite leg, opposite arm, okay? So all this intact, and then you're gonna go either side for me. Yep, good. So if you just let all of this go and you just kind of flop around like a fish, this really isn't going to be that challenging, but you notice nothing here is moving. The rib cage is completely down, and how are the abs feeling?
They hurt.
They hurt. Okay. I'll let you relax. So do that to about 80 to 90% of your max effort, and that's going to be enough for you if you do a few sets. And we'll go back up. We have two more progressions. We'll go, exhale, ribs down, good. I like just going in the same order every time so you drill this in and do it right. Okay, so the next option here is opposite hand to opposite knee. You're going to press in forcefully away from each other, but don't let anything move, okay? And now you're going to dead bug on this side with the arm. There you go. Let's go 5 or so they can see. So she's getting a ton of challenge through that anterior oblique sling on both sides. And this is creating a ton of tension. A little bit more challenging? Okay, good. So we'll give her a break. That's the third progression. And the final one is just with the ball again. Let me grab it. So you go back to that same position with the ball that we did with the frozen bear. There you go. And feet about here. There you go. And you're just going to press in, as hard as you can, and then opposite leg and opposite arm will go back while you're holding between the two. Does that make sense? So press, and what I want you to do is you're going to lower down the left leg and lower off. There you go. Perfect. Yep, so similar to the last progression, we just have a ball in between her hand and her knee. And you can have someone mess with you and perturb the ball while you're doing this to make it even harder. Okay, so I hope that was helpful and gives you guys something to work on. We did 3 progressions for the frozen bear. We did 4 for the dead bug. And the main thing I want you guys to get is just the concept of trying to actually get fat, which is difficult for a lot of you, and I understand that. But we don't want to suck in for athletic performance or lifting heavy. We want to get fat.